Hey, thanks for taking the time to watch our video about wholesaling. I've been investing in real estate for the last 15 years here in the Midwest part of the country, and I've seen and experienced a lot of changes in the business of real estate. That said, I want to talk about wholesaling for the next few minutes. There are a lot of different components when it comes to wholesaling. There's the seller, the wholesaler, and the end user. Add to that the purchase contract, the assignment contract, and the closing agent and who's supposed to sign at closing. Not to mention the purchase price, the assignment fee, and the closing cost. Well, breathe easy. I'm not going to teach a class on wholesaling, but I do want to talk about a few of the little nuances here that I've experienced in the last few years. And so with that being said, in the last few years, probably the last 2 to 5, there have been several startups wanting to wholesale a property or properties to me. Believe me, I'm always in the market looking for a great or even just a good deal. But with property appreciation in the last several years and many startups that have either been told or taught that most of the profit can be made up front. And I would say while there is actually nothing wrong necessarily with that, it does create a few problems. And so here's where I am. There's no problem with that kind of thinking if there is room for the end buyer, which would be me, to make enough profit to make it worth my time and effort. And isn't that the bottom line for this business? We all have to make a profit to stay in business. So the general scenario I usually get when someone wants to wholesale property to me is this. Number one, the ARV, or the after repair value. And usually that's overly inflated. The ARV should be figured on the last 6 months of sold comps with no more than within a half a mile radius, we'll put it that way. Not crossing over into other subdivisions or those things that would change what the sold comps should look like. And I know that's an oversimplification, but that's the nuts and bolts of it. Throw out the highs and lows on the prices and take the average. The second problem I usually run into is the rehab cost is generally underestimated. That said, any good investor will do a walkthrough and determine their own rehab costs, and so that's not so much a big issue as it is just information for any wholesaler. When you throw out a rehab cost, everybody's going to do it a little bit differently and come up with a little bit different cost, so just keep that in mind. The third thing that I run into is the assignment fee is usually more than I will make when I sell a property. I personally have a problem with that. So it doesn't necessarily how much the wholesaler makes, as long as I have an average profit of 25%. A 25% margin. Anything less than that is generally not worth my time and effort to go through all the processes in getting the property and fixing it up. And if I'm going to retail the property, if I'm going to put it back on the market, from the day of closing that I buy it to the day of closing that I sell it, generally is anywhere from 2 to 4 months, depending on property, location, all those things that would go into how quickly you can sell a property. So that being said, for now, we'll wrap up this discussion on wholesaling and we'll pick it up in our next video. So if you have any questions or comments, please contact me at 816-490-7065 or visit our website at gpdrealestate.com. So this is Dave saying thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and God bless.